We've talked about shape questioning, and one of the refinements to shape that we sometimes add in is to think about something that we call the three strikes rule. What the three strikes rule is reminding us of is the fact that sometimes if we focus on a particular line of questioning that we think is beneficial to our client or our customer, perhaps we should be brave enough to ask more than one question if we don't immediately get the response that we're looking for. So for example, you might hear your customer say something to you like, our competitor is currently beating us in the marketplace. And you might ask a question back that says something like, so what are the reasons why you think that they're being more successful than you are at the moment? And the client comes back and says, well, I think basically their pricing is better than ours. Now, at that point, they've dismissed it, but you might be thinking to yourself, well, typically it's more than just pricing. There's usually something other than price, and you may want to ask more questions. So do you ask more questions or do you move on to another topic? Now, I would suggest that you ask another question. So maybe the first question that you ask them is a simple surface question. So your second question might be something like, so in terms of pricing, obviously that's always important, but can you think of any other criteria that might also be causing them to have an advantage currently in the marketplace? And your customer could come back and say, well, no, actually it's pretty much down to pricing because the features of our product are the same. And you're sitting there and you're thinking to yourself, well, okay, yes, features are important and price is important, but the other thing that is often a key element, perhaps for this particular type of service, is customer service. And you're thinking, yeah, I'm not sure that their customer service is as good as other people's. So then you decide that you want to ask a further question. And maybe you think, well, okay, I want to ask a further question, but make this positive. So I'll ask a paint question. So I'll say something like, in terms of customer service, this is often important for customers too. Do you think that there are improvements that you could make to your customer service that might enable you to perhaps take back some of the ground that you're losing in terms of pricing, given that the features of your product are very similar to your competitors? So that's your second or third question. I'm not even sure I remember which one it is now. But the point is you're trying to get the other person to think about things a bit differently by gently asking more questions about the topic. And of course, there comes a point where if you see that your customer or client is clearly not interested, then you stop. But I do think we should be brave enough sometimes, if we think it's a useful line of questioning for our client or customer, not for us, but for them, we should be prepared to ask not only a first question, but also a second and a third. And that is what the strike three rule reminds you about.